What's the crack, everyone? 2 months ago, I made a TikTok about my life and it went viral, so I wanted to make a longer one with more stuff included. So this is my journey from the day I left home, over 3 years, 4 months ago. So my plan originally was to leave home for 6 months, come back and go to college. But I would say after my first day in Toronto, I knew I wasn't going to be going back. I actually ended up meeting these two lads, Sean and Connor, and we ended up moving in together on a place called College Street in the middle of Toronto. And this was probably the best place I could have been during COVID. So the first thing I said to myself before I left was I'm going to say yes to everything and try get involved in anything I actually want to do. And honestly, Toronto was unbelievable. I had a great group of friends, a place in the heart of Toronto, and a job I really like doing. But I enjoyed the whole moving process so much the first time I thought, you know what, I kind of want to do it again. So one day we took a little trip and I tried snowboarding. Now I was fucking shit at it, but I thought, you know what, I kind of want to do a whole season of this and see if I can improve. So me and Sean decided, you know what, we're going to do it. So we quit our jobs, we packed up everything and we went out to a little ski town in Banff. And honestly, this place is fucking beautiful, and the town itself is probably the most fun you can have with your pants on. Now me and Sean had nothing lined up, but we booked into a hotel for the first week just to see if we could get anything sorted fast. In the first few days we actually got a 6-month lease sorted straight away. So naturally we went out to the pub celebrating, and then that night we ended up bumping into an English lad. So his name was Tom, and we ended up just fucking mocking each other all night, and it was great crack. And the next morning we woke up to a text from Tom saying there's a job for both of us in the restaurant he works at up on top of the ski hill. But it wasn't just a job. Just because we were working on top of the ski hill, that means we got to ski for free. And then one morning while working in a bar, I was still a little drunk from last night. Me and Fraser posted this video on TikTok. It got 500,000 views. From then on I started posting TikTok videos. Mostly they were just us drinking and snowboarding, but then eventually I kind of switched into to travel. And for the most part we had a group that consists of Fraser, Sean in the middle and Connor on the left. And honestly, I don't think a day went by where we weren't up to something. So I'm actually going to pause for a bit here and let you see that for yourself.
Absolutely. Just...
Oh, the boys!
Oh no, everybody excuse you. Fuck the Irish, I'm the Irish. You can make brilliant dreams, but you got to do this one thing. No man does it all by himself.
You're waiting.
Yeah, man.
Get on your feet.
Just say it, the YMCA.
And so right up until about this point, my visa was just about to expire. But honestly, I was ready to go at this point. I just really wasn't sure on where to go. And it was during COVID, so I didn't really have a load of options. I had Hawaii in the back of my head, but I couldn't pull the trigger. I have read so much about it and it seemed so expensive. And at the time, I had no more than about 2,000 Canadian dollars on me. So my friend's auntie had actually lived there when she was younger, so I sent her a text and asked her about it. And she responded with, and I quote, "Jack, Hawaii is the most amazing place in the world. It has warm breezes, stunning beaches, and happy, friendly people. If it's your desire to go there, don't let anyone put you off." So I booked my flight. I had done everything I wanted to do on a snowboard. I had finished the season. I was happy to go. Now the whole time I had worked there, I had worked in a place called Sunshine Village. So I got all of my friends to tattoo a small line on the sunshine for me. This is still my favourite tattoo. I remember getting off the plane and thinking, I need to get these big three. Starting with first, friends, second, work, third, place to stay. Because I figured the more friends you meet, the more chances are you're going to get a job faster and a place to stay. So I actually had a room kind of lined up when I got there, but I got a text saying the room won't be ready for at least another month and a half. So I was a bit fucked. So I ended up booking into a hostel for a week while I tried to find a place to stay. But I found absolutely nothing out there. Exactly what I read about online. So on my last day in the hostel, I'm sitting in a hammock with no more than maybe 1,100 in my bank account. I actually overheard one of the members of staff then saying they were understaffed and that they didn't want to work that day. Now there was a queue of about 3 people ahead of me on the waiting list, but I went to the manager and talked to her and she actually let me skip the queue. Thank fuck. One of the people that I actually took a job from was Rin here, who's on my shoulders. So sorry about that, Rin. Now I stayed here for 9 months, and over that 9 months I had a few different groups because people come and go a lot in Hawaii. So for everyone out of my first main group, my best friends were Tejas and Rin. And we all lived in a hostel on Lemon Road, so naturally we all got a joint Lemon Road tattoo on our leg. Now this summer was so much fun. Now it wouldn't be long before I realised what making friends in Hawaii was actually like. Because right about now summer was over and every one of my friends left the island. And then one day in work I asked if they could sponsor one of my friends to come over and do some volunteering. So I knew there was only one man for the job and one man who would do it. I told Connor about my idea and he thought it was hilarious. I knew his arm could be twisted, so I told him I'm going to text him every day until he books a flight. 3 days later he had a flight booked and his arm was twisted. He was supposed to be going home, but he had dropped everything to come out to me. And for the next 3 months we had so much fucking fun.
Chilling in Hawaii, looking at the stars on the North Shore. Life is good.
Come on. Oh fuck.
We're sleeping well tonight. Sleeping well tonight.
I mean, Connor can hear a rooster outside chirping already.
Feel like I'm packing a car, man. Ring that thing's
If he doesn't
neck.
shut the fuck up, Connor's gonna go
Ring
choke
that
his
thing's
fucking
neck.
neck.
I'll be out. The animal rights activists be after me.
And honestly, it wasn't long before me and Connor had our own little group up the North Shore on Oahu. And in my opinion, it's the most beautiful place in the world. Now, me and Connor would kind of get these notions. So we'd think of something and then we'd have to do it. So we thought about buying a moped, we had to do it. We decided we want to go camping, sleep on hammocks, that's what we do. We kind of want to buy a car and sleep in the back of a car for a bit, that's what we done. At one point in time, I even had a bus for a bit.
What's the crack?
For these 3 months, we done very little work, but we had a lot of fun. And over the 9 months, I ended up visiting 3 different islands. And during this time, me and Connor never let a day go to waste. And just like my group before, I learned that all good things come to an end. And Connor's time was up and he had to go.
Really Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Look at him go. He might as well just grab his ass cheek.
Always being a see you later and never a goodbye, Connor left, but my mom came. I hadn't actually seen my mom since before the pandemic, so we had the best time ever. And I learned she still gets a fright pretty easily.
Will I press anything now, no?
No, sorry, can you just point here and I just get a...
Oh, Jesus! I'm not doing it anymore now. That's it. That's it.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
No.
Are you okay?
You do that.
So I spent the next 3 weeks showing my mom different types of foods and different types of places.
Paradise.
And after my mom left, I figured I needed a new plan. I started watching sunsets every day and I started surfing a lot. I wanted to have the same improvement I did with snowboarding, just with surfing instead. So I went and I surfed every day for 50 days straight. And I got absolutely obsessed with it after a while. And I even got a little bit shredded, which I was happy with. I would go and surf the North Shore occasionally, but get fucked up every single time. But at the end of the day, that's how you improve, isn't it? Now, I'd say from when my mom left for the next 3 months, I didn't drink once. I surfed every day. I worked a lot to save up money because I hadn't really been working the whole time. And I explored every inch of the island with my days off. And I also knew at one point I would always end up back in Hawaii, so I wanted to go explore more and see more of the world. So right about the time Kelly Slater won the Pipeline Masters, shout out to Kelly the GOAT by the way, I noticed my friend Rin was doing a semester in the Galapagos Islands. So I figured when I had enough money I would book a flight out to her and spend maybe a month and a half in the Galapagos Islands. But around this time I was just getting a bit too comfortable and I wanted to switch it up. So I was ready for another adventure. I booked a flight to the Galapagos and for the next 2 weeks I soaked up every bit of Hawaii I could. So I cleared out all my things and I packed everything I had into a carry-on. Me and Liv said bye for now and then on I went to the Galapagos Islands. It took me nearly 48 hours to get there I think in the end, but it was worth every second of it. And for the next 6 weeks I chilled out on a beach in the Galapagos and I literally made friends with sea lions. And you might actually think I'm messing, but I'm 100% sure that I'm friends with this sea lion. I even named him Darwin. Over the course of the 6 weeks I would visit 3 different islands. I would see tortoises about the size of my hip, baby sharks swimming around the bay, more sea lions than you can actually count, a rescue shelter for dogs. At one point, one day when I was out surfing, I looked up over my head and there was flamingos going by. And then as I looked into the water, there was baby sharks swimming around me. Something you won't get anywhere else in the world. And I knew that this is a once in a lifetime chance. So I enjoyed every single second of it. And the last thing I wanted to do before I left was swim with sharks. So I got my PADI license and lo and behold, bang, school of hammerheads. After that, I knew I could leave knowing I'd done everything I wanted to. And the next place was Peru. Me and Rin went here for 3 weeks. We surfed, we sandboarded, we even seen Machu Picchu. And honestly, I wasn't expected to be blown away because I seen pictures and videos all over the internet about Machu Picchu. But when I got there, it was a different story altogether. Now, with us finishing up in Peru, me and Rin went our separate ways. She went to Colombia and I went to do Ecuador to do some ayahuasca. I originally planned to leave Ecuador after 5 days, but I got a bit caught up in it and ended up staying there for like 5 weeks instead. And at this time right now, my videos on TikTok had kind of taken off a bit. So I didn't really have anywhere to be because those videos could sustain my traveling. So I just kind of kept on going on my own. Traveled with people, traveled solo, traveled with people again, and just kind of kept on going till I crossed the border into Colombia. And now after spending over 4 weeks in Colombia, I'm kind of done here and I'm heading towards Central America to the Panama. Now I don't really have a plan on what I'm going to be doing next month or the month after or anything like that. But if you like the videos and like where I'm going, give me the follow and we'll see what happens.